Good morning, everyone. Okay, let's get started. Uh, how is everyone doing today? Okay. Today we're gonna answer. Okay, I should probably put down some of the questions. Um, that's asked. But hey, I'll do it in the next class. Okay, sounds good. All right. So maybe future learners would know exactly what they are learning in this class, right? So if it's relevant to them, they can start learning. Okay. All right, everybody, get your coffee and let's hunker down. Ready? How's everyone doing? Good, good, good. Okay. Bad day. All right, man. After learning, I hope it's amazing. Okay, as a for those of you who are on this for the first time, give you a bit of context of how this works. Okay, each week, each month, I receive lots of questions from my private clients and my clients in the highest tier program in the diamond tier, uh, and then uh, I after I solve their big problem, then I consolidate the questions and for those that cannot yet have reached the status and the ability to invest in the Diamonds Partners program yet, then I made it into an affordable option like this so that you can still learn. There's still benefit, there's still value, and there are still real world if the big boys are having it, if the big fellas are having it, then possibly you might also have it, right? Then also on top of that, then what happened is that some of these other diamonds, they are not exactly in a very big corporation. They just happen to have some financial resources to be able to invest in the diamond tier. At the same time, their business is already having some traction, right? However, you might be surprised, people on the 1, 5, 10 million revenue level, uh, some of these companies, they still have fundamental issues. They still have issues with fundamentals. Sometimes I've seen two kind of companies, right? One of the companies, they rise very fast without and zero of any fundamentals because they happen to be in the right place, right time, right industry, right sector, and just boom. So a lot of fundamentals that you are learning in this class, they have zero learning, right? Because especially when you raise capital, you don't really need to learn that much. Once you raise 1 million, 2 million, 5 million capital, you start hiring people who already put in the work that have learned all of this, right? So the founders or the companies themselves don't really need this during those growth stages. And then what happened is that when they start to face issues, they're either going downhill or they are facing stagnancy and they can't break through. Uh, they have zero idea why. They're executive left, but nobody to pass the baton around, no legacy, no passing on. So they end up like um, I would say like a bamboo forest owner inherited a forest. They started new plantation, but they never really know uh how was the forest started in the first place. Does this make sense? Let me know if it makes sense. Great. All right. Um, so it's like, yes, it's like third gen money, fourth gen money, where they don't know how money was made in the first place. They were born into it. So a lot of them, if their education in the family does not provide, they end up splurging away the money, right? That's why in Chinese we have a saying, 富不过三代, meaning the wealth does not pass through the third generation. So that is the reason why. Um, but then again, you see, Rothschild and all these legacy families, how come they have money beyond three generation? That's topic for another day, but simply put, they have education, they have strict rules, and they have a trust, right? Okay, but this today's class is not about wealth or protection or creation. Okay, today's class is a little bit more in the business, marketing, and the wealth creation with business. All right, not so much about protection or legacy. But hey, if you want your wealth to pass down to third generation and beyond, then something to think about, isn't it? Okay, good, 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 good. All right. So for those of you who are here on the first time, congratulations and welcome in. If this is your first class listening to the coaching class, so that's how it comes about. All right. So so for you, you can use sending questions, of course, right? If you have questions that's not answered, and if you have questions that you kind of like have questions about the class, you can send in. And then if okay, so what's the difference, right? For those of you who are here on the first time. So for those of you who are already been with me for a long time, bear with me 2 minutes. I give the newcomers a bit of an orientation. Grab a coffee, 2 minutes. For those of you who are new, all right, 2 minutes. I'm gonna give you a orientation. On the difference of the program. All right, even though you can read it, but I just give it to you in 2 minutes. And I want to be respectful of the old timers as well, right? But I have to be caring and welcoming to the newcomers too. So thank you, everyone. Great, yes, right. New seats are important to take care of. Correct. Thank you very much. So, so the difference with is that date formula is very much on marketing, lead generation, promotion related, right? In terms of the business structuring, in terms of product structuring, product creation, pricing, price point, positioning. Okay, so that's mostly about that. So marketing in a big umbrella, marketing, positioning, branding. All right, that's date formula. That's what it's about for date coaching. Then for 1Pitch is a sales conversion class. It's about conversion. It's about sales. It's about persuasion. So you can't really use date. Can you use one without the other? Absolutely, right? For people who are already pitching for capital, closing conversion, speakers on stage and things like that, is 1Pitch enough for them? Well, kind of, right? Because it talks about closing, conversion, and persuasion, and that sort of thing. It talks about a lot more about psychology, emotions, primal desires, human brain, and things like that. It talks about neuron science, raising capital. So all of this. So if you're already in the stage of, in fact, if you're not a 1Pitch client and graduate, you wouldn't even be in the date formula in the first place, right? so so therefore you already got that content, correct? Good. You already got that program, correct? How is that? How was that learning, everyone? Was that good? Right? Closers and pitchers would really appreciate what is in the program. um right, yeah, exactly. Entrepreneurs and business owners will appreciate it as well, right? Because it's something that is not taught by our parents. I learned this for the last 20 years. I learn and do it. Okay, I have to use it to raise capital, to manage a team, and to get customers as well. Okay, correct. Good, good. Exactly, it's a persuasion techniques that you cannot learn. You probably wouldn't learn in school. Yeah, I didn't learn it in school. Correct. um let's see. Okay, so that's 1Pitch. It's all about conversion and persuasion, neuron psychologies, neuron marketing, neuron science. Okay, so it's 1Pitch is used for capital raising, sales closing, recruitment, anything to do with humans and conversions, right? Even online conversions, all right, even sales conversion, anything that has to do with closing and conversion. Fair enough. Okay, good. Now, then date formula talks about marketing, the business itself, the positioning, product structuring, and then after that, more of that. So you can see how it complements each other for these two. One is marketing, one is sales, basically. Okay. And then the awakening. The awakening is most of you would start from the awakening, isn't it? Yeah. So the awakening is a story creation process. It's a story creation workshop. It's to draw and pull and extract out your story first. Okay, so you create your story. You can start in random process, either the sales conversion or the story workshop. But I think 80% of you would have started from the story creation, right? Yeah. Now, after you learn this class, you will discover a little bit more into the insights and the whys, and then let's see how you can contextualize it for your business. Sounds good? All right. So even if you're not selling coaching, programming, selling coaching or teaching, this works for even if you're selling like anything low tier. You know by now that most of the things I teach is to help you sell expensive stuff, and 90% of you here sells expensive stuff. That's why you're here, right? Luxury, expensive, high end, high tier, high tickets. However, can this be used for low ticket item? $2, $5, $29, $10, anything $100? You bet. Absolutely possible. All right. Okay. So the profit pie. Let's get into it. All right. So got your coffee and everything? Everyone ready? Let me know if you are ready. We're going to air a very, very heavy topic. Sounds good? You like heavy? All right, man. Gotta lose weight, man. Have you guys been ordering your doTERRA supplements and your wellness and your things? Okay, great. Okay. Right. Okay. Amazing. All right, man. Everyone, thanks for being thanks for being thanks for participating. All right. Thank you. Keeps the energy up. What is sales? What is money, guys? What is money? Money is yeah, money is energy. Good. All right. Money flow from the low energy to the great. All right. High energy. That's right. So high energy, right? High energy. Let's go. All right. So if you're feeling sluggish, sit up. So let's get started. So what would today's profit pie topic be all about? Okay. So I want to go into the first part of this. We will go into the history of it. Second part of it will be contextualizing it. Third part of it will be recap and your homework. Okay. Now, so the profit pie, how does it come about, and what is the purpose for? What is it used for? Okay. The profit pie is a creation. It's my proprietary creation. That means you cannot find this outside. This is my own creation. A lot of things I teach you is my creation, but that's not it's my creation, but I did not I reconceptualized everything I learned and I created it. It's a fusion of everything I learned. Okay, like the dip method, the 1Pitch, as well as the profit pie. Okay, the reason why I made it a profit pie, okay, I'll explain to you later. Okay, it has to do with food. You know I love food, right? Yeah. Okay, so the purpose and the reason why is because I was really suffering in the business when I was just starting out. And I was like putting in a lot of effort and I just couldn't move the needle. I couldn't make enough money. And I start to seek out, reasons why. Okay. 21, I remember 21, I already started selling real estate. I needed to learn how to make money every day, not just one time, big one, and then it just gone like that. I don't want to just make one time. I want to make every single time. I don't want to earn per hour. I want to earn every hour, right? So I started looking out, I started learning and I started conceptualizing this because I want to know what does it take to, have little effort and a lot of impact. Okay, and then after that, so I learned this model, reworded it a little bit from J. Abraham, remember? Okay, good. So J. Abraham talks about this. He talks about customer, and then he talks about average dollar per client, and then he talks about repeat and frequency. Now, I relabor it for my own learning and my own understanding that I feel that I learn better. So what I did was I said it was customer, number of customers, and then number of VIP clients, and number of loyalty repeat customers. Okay, if you don't like the word customers, just change it to clients. All right. So, so the buyers and the VIP clients, right? If let's say, so the idea of the profit buy is to create impact, right? To have massive leverage. So why do we want that? Why do I want that? Because you see, when I learned this model, everything changed for me. It's about, so before that, right? You are like, you need when you have 1,000 customers and you make 100 per customer, example, okay? And let's say you have 100 VIP customers, okay? Um, so in this sense, they pay about $100 per transaction. Total, you get about 100,000. Okay. Now, if let's say, right, you have more customers, you have more VIP customers that pays you more per sale, and you have more loyalty customers that comes back and buy more often. Okay. Now, interestingly, you just need to increase 30% of each of these columns. That means finding more customers, and then having more of those customers become a VIP clients, just 30% of them, and having two of this to buy more often or refer to you more often. They're more loyalty by just 30% each. The entire math changes to become over 200,000. Essentially 30%, right? You can see it from this chart. It's like 30% extra effort. By just placing the fulcrum at the right places, you have a 200% impact. So that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to create. So I started going out there to learn. So let me share with you the origins of marketing, of what I found, and then right, the origins of what I found plus how this whole thing was created. Now, the reason why this history and origins will help you is because for some of you who enjoys going down the rabbit hole, and you are someone like me who you resonate to the brand mission, right? You want to further your studies, you want to be the gardener that plant forests as well, you want to have the skills, and if you ever want to go deeper into the topic, you can. That's why I'm sharing all this history and market and origins rather than just telling you what to do, bam bam bam. Right? So okay, so with that being said, now the origins of marketing, what I found is that by the time I started, right, everything was talking about 3.0 already. It was about the sales funnel. Sounds familiar? Okay, so the internet brought fame and the rise of sales funnel, right? And that's what you hear everyone talking about it today. Now, however, when I started in 1415, right, I found something called I trace back the roots of it, because I found something called the not the sales funnel, but it's a circular consumer decision journey by McKinsey. In 2009, McKinsey found out that purchase funnel, right, sales funnel, which is called purchase funnel in the past, it is not a linear process, because there's this thing called, you can see in the middle there's this thing called the loyalty loop. Okay, and then in the loyalty loop, right, what happened is that McKinsey found out that people don't just end at the purchase, just like what Elmo Lewis said. So in 1898, there's the sales or marketing funnel. It's not even called a funnel yet. It's just called a process, an experience, a theory. This is the original theory. The original theory of sales funnel was conceptualized by a theory of purchase process by Elmo. So then after that, in 1898, but before that, in 1960, Jerome McCarthy conceptualized the 4 P's of marketing, which is the product, the price, the promotion, and the place. So for those of you who actually studied marketing, this was look very familiar. Now, I didn't study marketing when I was growing up. Okay, so all of this was very new to me because I needed to make income. I didn't start off as a marketing student. I learned marketing because I needed to. I needed to get leads, get income, get sales. Who can resonate? Right? Yeah, as bosses, right? You are not trained in marketing. You have to learn for necessity, isn't it? Okay. Now, so the evolution of marketing, right? 1.2 to 1.0 to 4.0 today. So when I learned it, when I started in 2009 was the year I started real estate, if I'm not wrong. Then after that, by 2015, I started offering an agency service. And I found out that, oh my God, I cannot just be offering an agency service without knowing all this, right? It'll be such an embarrassment. So I can't be giving presentation, and I can't be going there to pitch and prospect for customers if I don't have all of this. And I started agency work not because I worked in an agency before and I have all these answers, you know. In fact, um, I train and I teach agencies to go and teach this to their customers now. Why? Because the agency bosses themselves, or the Gen Z themselves and things like that, they don't even know all of this, right? And because Singapore is such a fast-paced environment, I mean, who has time for all of this? True? Right? Let me get some water. All right. So I'm teaching um I'm teaching customers, and I'm teaching clients on this. And then I started teaching the 4.0, when I got into the um everything. So if you have been to my live events, you will see me and hear me talk about this all the time. There's this thing called the loyalty loop. It's no longer linear. So what McKinsey found was that, customers and consumers and buyers and clients, they don't go through a linear process where the sales, right, and the customers, they stop at the purchase. Because there's this thing called a loyalty loop. After they buy, if you want to create repeat customers, there is a loyalty loop that it must be completed. And in the loyalty loop, right, you can see the yellow ribbon over there, is when they buy and buy and buy over and over and over again. And it's also where they refer, they become an advocate, they become a raving fan, right? So the profit pie and the date formula, the whole idea is, how do you create raving fans? You need to create raving fans in order for you to have loyalty loop to activate. So that's 4.0 all the way until consumer journey. Is everyone still with me? Or is this too advanced and already too complicated for your mind? Simple, right? Basically 3.0, 4.0. A lot of people don't talk about 4.0. They are still in 3.0. Yeah, they are still in sales funnel. They still talk about, getting people to the point of purchase. Yes, correct. So a lot of people talked about to the point of purchase. Not many talk about the loyalty loop, nor getting referrals and customers and advocates. And that's why our graduates are so different, because they learned to get raving fans, they learn to get referrals, they learn to get advocates, they learn to get evangelists, and they learn to get all these referrals coming in. So that's why their ROI is always higher. Right? Remember, I want to bring you back to this chart. Do you remember this? Okay. Yeah, it's a bit more colorful. Yes, more colorful. Yes, more design, correct. Okay, good. So remember this, right? Okay, so a lot of people wants to get more customers, but then they are stuck in the right side of the column, on the top side, where 900 vendors selling to 30 people, correct? And then a lot of my students' competitors, a lot of my clients, my graduates, and my students' competitors, they don't get the same level and the quality of the customers and clients and the buyers that my students get, my clients get. Why? Now you get it? Correct. Because, right, they are no longer in that 3% buying now. They are no longer waiting there. They made a cautious effort to go backwards. So by the time, right, someone wants to buy, you see, your purchase, what is your own purchase habit? You will go to your friend and say, hey, any referral, anyone to 介绍, anyone to recommend, anyone that you know is good, correct? Before you go on Google, before you go on anything else. So those people who are waiting in Google to get your business would never get it in the first place, isn't it? Right? And then by the time you really go to Google, it's because your circle don't have all these people, right? And then you are skeptical and you are kind of like, worried about them. You're very guarded, very defensive. True? Yeah, exactly. So their sales method, if they are not polished, they're not learned from 1Pitch, they wouldn't close you, right? Now, do you see everything clicking together? Good, because that's why the profit pie is a circular motion. It is not a sales funnel. Do you see that? It's not a funnel linear process. It's a circular process. At one point in time, circular economy was all the rave. Nothing to do with this though, but so the profit pie take advantage of that. So 5.0, right, or my own 5.0, right, the industry kind of like still in 3.0. Everyone is still talking about 3.0. Every innovative company goes into 4.0 that nobody is talking yet. By the time everyone talks about 4.0, right, you want to be in 5.0. Okay, so make sure you are in 7.0 by the time everyone else talks about 4.0. Now everyone is still in 3.0. 10 years ago, 20 years ago when I started, everyone is talking about 3.0 and a little bit about 2.0. And then now 20 years later, they are still only talking about 3.0. Why? Very normal, right? If you are the elite and everyone using 4.0, would you want your competitors to use 4.0 or not? Of course not, nah. Right? Of course you don't. You want them to continue using 2.0, 3.0 so you can continue to dominate, ma. The elite are already 6.0, 7.0 already low. We are, okay? So my 5.0, what is my own 5.0? Okay? So my own 5.0 looks like this. Okay? So this is what is work. This is what and how it works. Okay? So as you know the sales funnel, right? And then I talk about the loyalty loop. I want to put everything in contextualize for you. Okay? So you can see here, right? There's a trigger. You see that? So it's the standard IDA formula, a standard formula for the sales funnel. First, it start with awareness. Then you go into familiarity. People consider to buy from you or not, and then they finally buy. Okay. Now, do you also see similarity with this and my 1Pitch? Good. All right. Some of you can start to see a few things clicking. Right. Very smart. Very smart. Good. 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 I'm so proud of you. Yes, you're right. You're right. On the formula, you can start to see why 1Pitch was so powerful, right? Great. Okay. So now, so let's run through this and to give you a full perspective. So after today, you are very powerful. Sounds good? So you see, the process of people buying, before that, they have to aware about their problem, correct? We talk about this pyramid. They need to be interested in your product. They need to have a problem first, correct? So the awareness of your solution only because of the problem. So after that, even though, see, a lot of people, right, they ask for quotes from you, they talk to you, but they never really go into the purchase mode. Why? Now, we talk about this in one of our classes called the trigger, remember? So you see that there's a green word called trigger. I'm worried that the graphic is too small. Some of you can't see it. Okay, good. So a trigger is when something happen in their life that they need your product. So if you're selling baby strollers, baby products, okay, they got a baby, that's the trigger. Then they want to buy from you, okay. Then for some of them, it's like, for example, right, when you are selling whatever you're selling, basically, all right. If you're selling okay, the simplest of the basic is food, right? If you're selling makan, the food, okay, 吃的喝的用的 they need to be hungry to eat your food. They need to be hungry. They need to be craving for potato chip. Then they buy potato chip. There's a trigger for that craving. Okay, this is a very deep psychological stuff. There's always a trigger that makes them want to buy from you, even if it's just a potato chip. Okay, it could be they walk past an alleyway. and they're reminded of their ex-girlfriends or boyfriends. And then it is in that alleyway, in their seats, that they finally have that potato chip. And then after that, they trigger, and then they are like, okay, I want to eat potato chip to remember the feeling. Isn't it how it works? Right? Right? This trigger can be smell, can be scenting, can be memories, can be activity, can be external shock, can be all kind of thing. This trigger can also be a new status where people sell their companies, they make hundreds of millions, and then suddenly they are buying 50,000 sofa. Okay? Even though the sofa can be bought for 5,000, they just want to buy designer sofa. Correct? Okay, so that could be a trigger. All right? Okay, so now after they buy, do you see that there's a loyalty loop there? So the loyalty loop, it's after they purchase, correct? So you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4 process. Good, let's go through that. Number one, they have to consider to buy from you. Okay, now after they consider to buy from you, they will evaluate how do they want to buy from you. Number two, we are at number 2 now, okay? They want to evaluate how to buy from you. So they will start to search and things like that. Now, if you succeed at convincing them using the 1Pitch theories, if you succeed at conversion, then after that, they enjoy your product, which is where you guys are at right now. Correct or not? This is your post-purchase experience. These classes when you purchase and everything, okay? Then after which, you have a ongoing exposure to the products and the programs and with me, correct? We are at number 4. The two of us, we're at number 4, okay? With all of you. Now, this 4 creates an experience, and if this experience is familiar to everything, you feel good about it, the next time I launch a product, you will purchase again. Because why? There is a loyalty loop. Do you see that? And that's why you are here, right? You enjoyed 1Pitch, and then because you enjoyed that, there's this loyalty loop being created, right? You agree to the mission, the vision, the brand promise and things like that. You enjoy the content, you put it to work, it's useful, and then you enter the loyalty loop with me. This loyalty loop is also created by reviews and testimonials, success results and things like that, right? Yeah, you buy because of one of the results you saw, right? Yeah, exactly. So when you trigger that, when you have that loyalty loop, and that loyalty loop is where your clients and your customers, your prospects, your buyers, they'll give you a testimonial, they'll give you a review, they'll give you something that will boost your reputation. Okay? So for those of you who have not sent in your reviews and testimonials, this is your call to reminder also, okay? All right? This reminder that you need to do that. Thank you. Okay? Yes, you do it. Good. After the class. Good. All right. Okay. So give me your update, right? Give me your progress. Don't just give... So for those of you who are in coaching and teaching as well, what you want to do is that your customers and your prospects and your buyers and your clients and your students and your graduates, you want to get regular testimonials from them. You want them to give you testimonials, in fact, almost every month or every milestone. This is important. Why? Because your prospects is in this process. Now you understand why. Because your prospects will go through this same process that you went through. And when they see that your success with your own clients are not a one-trick pony and not a one-off fireworks, there's longevity, there's legacy, there's ongoing process, there's ascension, there's escalation, there's elevation, that will make them buy. Because a lot of them are shopping for your product right now, but they have not entered the purchase. They are still in the familiarity. They are trying to get familiarized with you. See that? Correct. So that trigger could be one of your testimonials. Why? Because they might not buy from you, right? Because they have not reached that stage of purchase with you. For example, a lot of you would possibly be in this scenario. You started exploring, you know about my product, my service, my program, my results. The first time you already know. You know it's good and things like that. But you find yourself realizing that you are not in the same stage that you don't need it yet. And then suddenly, right, I post a new story, a new testimonial, a new review, and then it hits you that, hey, this I'm at this stage like this person, this is this if it works for them, I want it too. Make sense? So one of my turning point, one of my realization, right, is that I've got one of the stories and testimonials about just as simple as getting clarity. You saw that? Who saw that? Who saw that? A result and testimonials and reviews based on the clarity, where they were confused and then they got clarity. Right? Yeah. For me, I didn't see that much of a USP inside of that. I didn't see much of a value with that. It was until where I did, and I realized at a later time that was a conversion piece. That was actually a lot of maybe some of you can resonate. Who else is like, you were confused and then it hits you that somebody else got clarity, and it's like you are in the stage of realization that my students and my clients and my graduates, they are not always in that high tier, and then there are a lot of confused tiers as well. Right? And then you joined because you wanted clarity, also because you saw that, hey, actually Jason got clients, also at the starting stage, also confused. You saw that? Is this making sense, guys? Is this I wish we should end off here. This is very heavy. Right? I hope you get, because that's why you receive the replay, so you can watch it again. All right, you don't just learn this kind of thing one time, you learn it many times. So I really want to end off here because it's so a lot of you are getting a lot of hits of this shift, right? Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, a lot of yeah moment. All right, wait till you see what's coming next. This is part 1. Okay, yeah, good. Yes, exactly. So you get your testimonials every milestone. Every time your clients or your prospect receive a new milestone, ask for an updated testimonial. Okay, do it through either interviews and things like that. Okay, do it through question and answer, do it through interviews, do it through updates. So because you never know, right? Theoretically you will, but you never know who is at what stage waiting to buy from you. And not every one of your testimonials will be read. Not every one of the reviews will be seen. So as you update it, right, for those customers who are in that stage of evaluation, it hits them and they come in. It works for every product. Whether is it, like you see, why would LV, Chanel, and Prada, all this, Hermes, they have different tiers of products? Even so, they also have low tier product, right? It's a luxury brand, but they still have products in the $100 range, correct? $100 anyone can afford, although it's just a pouch or an accessory, correct or not? So they have lower tier item, and then they have higher tier item, and then all of this are designed for different things, and then they have different endorsements of different celebrities at different stages and things like that, correct? Super atas billionaires, and then just starting out millionaires, correct? Yeah, exactly. So every one of you have a process. Every one of you have a consumer's journey. All right. So that's called the consumer's journey. Let me put it up. Okay, we're going to take a 5 minutes break, okay, friends? And then we'll go into the next part 2. But let's recap. Right? This is called the consumer's journey. In McKinsey reviewed it. It's called consumer journey 5.0 of the profit pie. A profit pie is created with this in mind. All right. Profit pie is about structuring your offer and your product with this in mind, with this buying process in mind, right? So what is profit pie? Profit pie is a product creation process that fits into this formula. Got it? Good. All right. Let's recap what we learned so far. Then we go for 5 minutes break. Now, so with this, McKinsey, in 2009, okay, so we started off with 1.0, the 4 P's of marketing, still very relevant today. Then it evolved to AIDA model, the first creation of the purchase funnel. Then it got really popular in 3.0 on sales funnel. That's where everyone is still here today. And then evolve and the evolve to 4.0. This is where the big brands are. Uber, Dropbox, and everyone, Grab, they all understand 4.0 by now. Okay, and I got really lucky because I was at that point when this evolution started, and until now nobody talks about it. I mean, look at the sales funnel from from IDA to sales funnel to really got famous, right? It was like almost 100 years. Now we are only in what 21.5 as of recording this video. um and then as of today is only what 6 years. Okay, that's why you see everyone is still in 3.0. So is it useful and is it valuable if you start 4.0? In fact, if you start 5.0 before all of your competitors and industry caught up or not? Would it be a legacy and valuable for everyone or not? Great. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a 5 minutes break, and then after that we are coming back to talk about the profit pie itself. Sounds good? Okay, 5 minutes break. Let's go. We start in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, we're gonna resume on time. Okay, friends, get back here in time. Okay, everyone back. We're gonna start back on time. When are we going to end? About I would say I've got about only about 5 slides for part two. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think under 20 minutes, max 30. All right, cool. Yeah. All right, man. Let's go. Everyone back? Tell me if you're back. Let me know. I can continue. Come on. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay, so what is the profit pie? The profit pie it symbolize the cycle of relationship. Now, the 5 cycles of relationship is what? The 5 stages. Number one, you are in the romantic stage, right? This is where honeymoon period is happening and things like that. The romantic stage where you try to date them, right? Remember the formula? Okay, let's recap the formula. What's the formula about? The formula is, yep, you need to discover them first, right? You need to discover each other. Okay, then after that, both of you show up in each other's radar. Then after that, you try to get their attention by either being funny, witty, smart, right? Okay, and then you learn to build trust around each other, try to find trust and things like that. And then if this lady or guy trusts you enough, go out for a meal with you, and then you find out whether, hey, do I enjoy this person's companion? Correct? Right? So that's how business is, customer is, and um, this entire basis with your business as well. Okay, with your business there's also 5 stages. So you should have at least, right, 5 products in order for your customers to date with your company. So think about it like your customers are and you, and then you have products like your children, correct? And then your customer's wallet, right? Right? They have 5 piece of notes, okay? So your company has 5 products, also your children. So you want them to go and pak tor. You want them to go and date each other, right? And then have babies together, okay? Have more grandchildren together. So you want the wallet and the notes are your customer's children, and then you and your customer are like parents, right? Trying to matchmake together, okay? So what are the 5 stages of a relationship? Let's look at this first. The 5 stages of a relationship is you start off with a romantic stage, okay? You pak tor, you find out this is a discovery, right? And then the grounding stage is what? The grounding stage is when you kind of like, get their attention and things like that. And then there's the questioning stage, there's the stable stage, there's the commitment stage. The questioning stage is and the stable stage is where it's like the trust, right? Can I trust this person? Can I have a happy future with them and things like that? Okay, and then you tried it out. You kind of like, hang out a few more times and see if you're stabilized. And if you really enjoy that process, then you enter the commitment stage. Correct? Okay. So in your product structuring, if your sales are slow and if your customers are having issues, okay, uh, because you only have one product that try to solve the whole 5 stages. Is this making sense? That is the mistake. That is my mistake too when I was starting out. Okay, my mistake when I was starting out. Remember, let's go back to this pyramid. Do you see that? So what my mistake was is that I only have one product that's designed for just which color, guys? What was my biggest mistake, friends? Good. Okay, so I only have products for the yellow. That's correct. Okay, you know what? Maybe I should have some name for our group, bro. I have Kingmakers, I have Pitchers, I have Closers. Casavonas. Okay. Okay. Let me know what let me know what kind of let me know what kind of sexy name, fancy name next time, okay? Right, closest. All right, let's now I can only think of Kingmakers. You know. Okay, so Kingmakers. My mistake was what? Well, there are Queen makers too. Okay, okay, Kingmakers, just stay for now. Okay. Um. So yeah, the yellow, right? The yellow, correct. I only have one product for the yellow, and then and then after that, what I did was I started creating different products. Okay, I go to this example later. Okay, hang on, over here. All right. So I only have one product for the yellow, and all I do, I make the same mistake as every one of us, as in our beginning, right? All I do is sell that product, and that's all I do over and over again, you know. And that's why my sales are slow, my cost is high, okay? And then after that, I was burnout, suffer, and everything. So, how does McDonald dominate? Let's look at this. So McDonald have what? So when early days, right, when McDonald was just started, McDonald when the burger was just still $2, okay, the meal was still $2.50. I started working in McDonald's since it's not that I'm advocating McDonald's. If you know me, I already is very focused on wellness, right? Okay, um, McDonald's when it started, they only have that the meal was still $4.50. I started working at 14 years old when I was 14. So now I'm 38, do the math. 20 plus years ago, yeah. You know. So I work at McDonald's, then this was how they dominate. They have what? How did they start off with? They have this series of coupons and vouchers in the past, right? In the past, there are these coupons and vouchers where they will send to everyone in the neighborhood, and they will say, okay, free fries, come and redeem a free small fries. You know, it's in my days, right? This small little packet of fries, right, is actually kind of like a very it's like a very a trophy, you know, and it's very like very cool, very chic. I don't know about it now. So they'll say, okay, you know what? Come and redeem a free fries. Either that, or they will say, okay, Happy Meal toy, $0 for the toy. They'll say you don't need to pay a single cent to get a Happy Meal. Now, if you don't know, right, McDonald's, we'll talk about positioning next time. But today's topic is about this product structuring. So, McDonald's positioning is McDonald's is a place for family. So Sunday, bring your kids here because this is the place where you finally hang out after a long day in the week. That was McDonald's positioning for a while. That's why you see, right, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, McDonald's, the walls are always painted with a lot of like family related stuff. Yeah, they want to make it like a hangout for families before Starbucks came around. So McDonald's was a place that family hang around on Sundays. So who is the person who can pay McDonald's? Not the kids, right? But who is the one that will convince the parents to go at McDonald's and spend the money? The kids. So McDonald's very very cleverly reveal the Happy Meal strategy. So the toy is free. You just buy the Happy Meal bundle, but inside is basically a meal itself, right? But it's Happy Meal, so everything is like small size, small bundles, and small, right? For just the kids, it's 4 nuggets, or was it 4 or 3 nuggets, and there's small fries or apple dippers now, or corns or something like that, right? Or French fries, or I think there's also hash brown, correct? Now, when you bring your kids there and to get the Happy Meal toy, the toy is free, but do you have to buy something? Do you? Yep, you have to buy something first, right? So you have to buy something, even to redeem the free fries. You still have to buy something, right? Correct. Okay, now, so then what happens? You go and buy something, lor. So then when you buy something, right, what do they have? Well, they have either you can buy a burger for just $2. You can buy one French fries for $3, or I think it was like, back then was like $2.90 for a large French fries or medium French fries. which totally don't make sense. Because why? A burger is $2, a meal, then they'll ask you, hey, would you like to make it a meal? Because the meal is more valuable, is more worth it, correct or not? So they say, hey, the meal is $4.50 while the burger is $2. This was a real case study, man. This was back in my days. Now it's $6 or $7, right, or something. Anyway, so with McDonald's, you can buy a McChicken for $2. You can buy other Filet-O-Fish, $3.50, things like that. Okay, but it's the same thing. They'll ask you, hey, would you like to get a meal? Because a meal is better, a meal is worth it. And then you look at the price, you're like, hey, you know what? Yeah, might as well. Correct or not? It's $2, and you get a fries, which the fries itself will cost you another $2. That means what? You're getting the drink for free because the drink itself costs you another $2. So if you were to get everything together separately, you would have to spend at least $6 to $7. But now as a meal, you can get $4.50. Now if you were to buy separately, right, versus buying a bundle meal, which one would you buy? Tell me. Right, you would buy. I mean, you might be thinking. Jason, you're asking stupid question. Who will go and buy separately? Hey, have you seen how people purchase sometimes? They really would buy a la carte and separate because they don't know, because they think that the counter staff is trying to make them spend more money. Do you see that? But hey, now is very obvious. Now is very, very obvious and common sense because you're an adult now. But if you're a kid, okay, you only have $5. $4.50 is 90% of everything. You will think twice, isn't it? Now you will think twice. You will do two things. You do three things. Okay. You do three things. One, you're like, okay, I just want to try your burger and see if it's good. If it's good, I would buy again next time. That's one operation, correct or not? Okay. So they try the burger, they try the fries before they go for the meal. Correct? So burger is McDonald's way for you to do the try. But what they really trying to sell you is the meal itself, correct or not? Okay. And then how do they make you upgrade and upsize your order is to ask you, would you like fries with that? Would you like a meal with that? And then they ask you, would you like a dessert? Would you like a McFlurry? Would you like an apple pie? What are they doing? They're upgrading your purchase, correct? They're making you spend more, correct? And then after that, you finish eating and everything. How do they make you come back to them and spend this whole cycle all over again? Well, they send vouchers and coupons to you. They never say a discount, but they always say, hey, if you come back, yeah, you live through that days, right? You go back because of those vouchers, right? Correct. So I go back to McDonald's because I received a voucher. They say a free fries. I end up going to the McDonald's, never just eating that free fries. Who has been in that situation before? And then you're going to McDonald's and everyone is like, hey, I want it too here and there. And then you end up spending $10, $20, $30. Correct? So how they make you come back was never discount. McDonald's rarely give any discount, right? Free apple pie, free ice cream, free cone, free fries, free burger, I think burger was almost never free. They do run promotions once in a while. You'll get like, buy this one, get that burger. They do. But they still give you free burger. Okay, good. Free burger still. Right? I think recently Popeye also, during February, Chinese New Year, they give away a free piece of chicken for just 88 cents. It's crazy. It's crazy. A piece of chicken that is valued at $4 and they let you upgrade the meal for just 88 cents. I saw it and I'm like, what? And I started eating for every week. That period of time. Now, so this is how McDonald's dominate. And if you see every successful company and business, all right, they all have the same model, similar, recontextualized. They're all going to be similar. Okay, now, so that is the profit pie in action. That is what I created in terms of this profit pie. Now, so this profit pie starts off, it can start off at any one of this quadrant, and it can take a lot of different shape and form I found in the business industry. Next time, I'll give you more examples and case studies from the real world. But you notice that not everyone started off the same. Some of them, like for example, a lot of gaming, a lot of there'll be a lot of different pies that's being created by now. They don't call it a profit pie. Okay, the profit pie is, you know, my world's language, my term, my own, right? All of you know it by now, but others don't know. But they are doing it. For example, if you play a game, it all started off with what? Right? So you see a lot of different version of pie, but they all started with, the gaming industry mostly started with free, correct? They all started with play for free. So it's called PP, something like play for free, PFP, right? Play for free, PFF or something. Anyway, so it's play for free. They come in, okay? So now using gamers language, right? Okay, so for those of you who don't play games, this is how it works. They let you download and play the games for free. Now that was an evolution, because in the past you can never play games for free. You must buy the disc, the casket and everything. You must buy the console. Then you must buy the console already, you must buy the diskette. Alright? Everything start off straight away as the core product. Then when the evolution of games was that after that, they started letting people to download the games for free, right? It started off like I think there's like Warcraft 3, and then there's like Blizzard games, and then there's like World of Warcraft, and then there's a lot of other games. And then by now, right, it evolved to mobile games where you can buy a lot of, you can download and play a lot of mobile games for free. Okay. And then what they do after you play the game for free? Yes, they actually you can upgrade your armor, your equipment, correct or not? But what do you do before you upgrade? You try with one of the item, and you don't really try to buy, right, until okay, until you lose in a game, until you lose in a stage, until you lose to an opponent during a PvP, correct or not? Who felt that? Who experienced that before? So you lose a stage, you try and you try and you try for the next 10 rounds, 10 hours, and 10 days. You're like, you're like F, man. You like, how there's like, you beta already, you can already, and then you go and spend that first $10 to upgrade your equipment by that 1%, and then you clear the stage so freaking easy and so simple. And then you are telling yourself, oh man, if only I spent this $10 10 days ago, I wouldn't have to suffer so much. Correct or not? Who experienced the exact same scenario? Right? Okay. Then after that, you end up spending more and more. And then end up, right, you actually go on with more and more. And then you end up spending a lot more into every single game. And then end up spending more and more into that game, buying equipment, not just equipments anymore, potions lah, armors lah, and things like that. Correct or not? And because of that, right, because you're already invested, you already bought, and then you start to play the game more and more, and you return and you return. As you return to the game more and more often, isn't it true that you end up upgrading more and more along the way, more and more stages, right? Okay. Okay, so those of you who has been spending a lot on your mobile games and upgrades, you totally can resonate to that process, right? Alright. So in the gaming world, everything start off exactly like how it is. So how do you so is it proof that it works? Right? Uber and Grab, all this ride sharing, what do? It started off as free, so also, right? I mean, not free, sorry. They give you a chance to, so let's talk about Uber and Grab. When they started, you have to book a Grab, you have to book a Uber to go around. Now, after that, how do they get you to return and use the service? Well, they say that, hey, give this to share with your friend and you can ride for free. Do you realize? I mean, not literally for free. What they do is they created their own currency and they give vouchers away, right? Just like McDonald's. They give you vouchers for you to go and tell a friend to try their service, and in return and in exchange they give you a voucher, just like McDonald's model, isn't it? Just like McDonald's model, by giving you a free fries, a free burger, a free, they never give discounts. They give you a free burger, a free fries. In that, in the context of Uber, they give you, I don't know if they give you free rides, I can't remember right now. I do remember they give you $10 voucher. But and in most cases when they just started, right, $10 is as good as almost a free ride. You still have to spend some money, $2, $3 over there. Correct or not? And because you have a $10 voucher, right? Because you have a $10 voucher, you wouldn't use it on the $6 journey. So what would you do? You save up for a $16 or $20 journey. So you end up spending $10 to get $10 off. True? And then they make you return and return. They make you try and try. They make you help them getting more and more customers to try their services more and more, isn't it? Right? Who is getting a lot of like ideas and spark off about what you can do for your business to get return as well? Yeah? Okay. So good. Okay. So now, so every one of you would have a core product. Okay, we start off, let's look at this, right? Time check now. We'll end in under 20 minutes. All right, max 10 minutes ish. So everyone start off as a core product, correct or not? Now what I want you to do, right, is I want you to take your core product and split it and see if you can split it into 5 different products, just like this profit pie. That's where you have 5 different products now. Got it? Now so what happened is that example, right? Okay, example. I give you examples. Now you have a green. And I want you to split it into 5. How do you do that? Let me give you an example. Over here, there's the money. Remember this money path? Back when I was an agent days, right? I was selling properties. So how did I make 50,000 in one day? What I did was I have a process. I map out this process that I teach you. Okay. What do they want to escape from? What does your customers, your prospects want to escape from? And what do they want? Where do they want to arrive at? Now, then after that, after I learned this profit pie concept, before that I haven't even created the profit pie. I was just using the concept. So what I did was I split my offer, my core offer, into 3 different, right, into this theory. So I know that they want to, what do they want? They want to first locate the area, then view the house and negotiate the price, correct? So I split up, instead of, like my core offer and my upgrade and everything is to teach my prospects and clients and customers, right, all this thing in one meeting and things like that. That's one big pie, correct or not? Now, as internet, the evolution of internet and everything, the attention span and time of my prospects and customers reduce and reduce and reduce. And because there's so many different competitors, and I'm not the most successful agent, right? I was so young. I was like 20 plus only, So there are a lot of other people that is better than me. So they wouldn't give me their time of the day, but they would give me maybe 5 minutes. I will maybe able to get their 5 minutes, whether is it indirect or direct, okay? So I split my core, that I do a consultation with them. No, I don't do a 1 hour, 2 hour consultation with them anymore, right? I split my core, which is the 2 hour consultation, into this, right? So this covers both free and try. How does it work? So they need to locate an area, they need to view an house, and they need to negotiate the price, correct or not? Okay, now then after that, yeah, who saw result already? Oh wow. Yeah, exactly. Right. All right. Okay, so it works. It works, right? You can see that it works. Correct. I mean, a bit Haolian to say that of course it works, right? Because I know it works, but congratulations, all right? Remember to send me that updated testimonials and updated of your process and journey, okay? Congratulations, congratulations. Wow, that's great, that's great. So, um, I turned my core offer, which is at that point of time actually a try offer to do a 2 hour consultation, but it's part of my big pie, right? I split this pie instead of feeding them this whole pie at one time until make them cannot digest. I split it into just one slice each. Okay, so I split them into one slice each so it can be very digestible, it can be very consumable, so they won't, it becomes like a dessert rather than a full course meal. Okay, so I let them try my french fries first, I let them try my dessert first, my apple pie first. So in other words, this is my free and my try. I created this guide. The products doesn't have to be paid. Okay, now back then I don't dare to charge for this kind of thing but now I teach my student to charge at least a few dollars, if not free also can lah. Okay, depends on your status and your credentials and ability. Okay, now so I do it, and this is for free and for try before they come to my core offer. Okay, so therefore, in other words, they get to try my information back then. They get to try my experience. They get it for free. All right. So that's how I do it. So I split it into these 3 slices before my core offer. Come back to, and then before my core offer, so I let them go and try and let them go and free first. Now what happened was that this process is so powerful that the entire Uber effect kicked in, right? The Dropbox effect, actually. The Dropbox effect kicks in, right? Dropbox also same thing, give you free storage if you refer, right? So with that being said, right, what happened is that this guide starts to be shared, and you can see what happened when these guides are shared. They liked it, they come back to you, their customers, their try, their friends try, and things like that. So these guides have helped me in that. So this guide is part of my product series, correct? Now, your product can be a different product, different company, different product. It doesn't even have to be your guidebook. It can be your guidebook, right? If you are in the information space like me, right? Back then I was selling real estate. I was not in the information space at all. All right, but they get to try what? They get to try pieces and bits of my knowledge. Okay, now then if they like it, then they go into the core offer. So what is the core offer for me back then? The core offer is to use my agent service. Very simple, correct or not? Okay, so they will buy from me at my show flares and things like that. Okay, and then they return, and over again. What is the upgrade? Upgrade is when they let me rent their place, other bungalows, other house, and things like that. All right. So that helped me a lot. That helped me for the last 20 years. Everything you see around what I do has elements of this for sure. Now what I want you to do is to go and put in your own, right? Go and put in your own potential, build this out, right? For example, a dentist would have like a free consultation. Then let's try cleaning our teeth for $200, $100, right? Then their core offer could be a whitening process, which costs maybe $1,000. A cosmetic surgery, a cosmetic surgery and things like that will cost you maybe 10,000. I don't know, right? I know that surgery is expensive, right? The upgrade. Now, then after that, they sell you how to return, and then they sell you how to return for a checkup every half a year, correct or not? So if you notice, right? Okay, so go on and find out, right? Go on and find out and do this process for your own products. What can you, right? You can build like different companies. They build, some of them are heavily on the return model and the free model, right? Or the free and upgrade model is very heavy. They don't have a core offer. Their core offer is straight away the free product, correct or not? So then they have the upgrade model. Then you have to go heavy on the free users to onboard. Okay. If you're in the high-end luxury market, you don't have that much of a leeway in terms of that. Usually what you do is more prestigious, more elite, right? So then again, even in the luxury market like Chanel or sorry, in like like all these different brands, all right? I don't want to name any single one, all right? Hermes being the one of the top up there, right? They still have products that they can try Hermes as a start. Do you get it? There'll be a core product that, okay, I'll do it a visual next time, but if you think about it, Hermes, their upgrade is you cannot buy their limited edition bag at all. Unless you meet certain condition, you qualify. Okay, now then, but there are some products you still can buy from Hermes as a first time customer, right? Is that free? I don't think so, but they give you free coffee lah. Maybe, I don't know. Right? So so what can you offer for free if not the product itself? Find ways to split your existing offer, find ways to split it, find ways to do it. And the reason why you want to do it, let's recap, all right? We end in 3 minutes, yeah? We recap. So why you want to split it like that? Because, right, we go back to the exact same thing. Let's recap. Is that most people are not ready to buy now. Look at this, right? 1,000 customers on the left and 1,000 customers on the right. Who's getting a lot of aha moment right now? Okay, good. So for those of you who are new and have not watched this class before, 1,000 customers on the left and 1,000 business on the right. Now, only 3% are ready to buy now. That's 30 of the customers in your marketplace. But 900 of you are all swarming that 30, resulting in higher cost per conversion, higher cost per lead, higher customers. Correct or not? Lower customers. So how do you go backwards? How do you get them before they are ready to buy? How do you establish that you are the number one, the only logical one, the exclusive one, correct? That's how you do it, by splitting up. The profit pie is designed to fit into the essence of this pyramid because they are not thinking about buying from you right now. But when they are, would you be the number one brand they think of immediately to buy from? Making sense? Good. So then after that, that links to, right, having that pyramid links to this funnel. Why? Because when they are familiar with your brand, you are waiting for that trigger. You're waiting for that trigger point, which is created by what? What is the trigger point created by? Tell me, which one of the profit pie? Correct. The free and the try. Correct. Your core product is what they purchase, right? Correct. The return and the upgrade too. Okay. People who upgraded and send their friends to you to try, and then after that, the return model coming back over and over again. Very good. So in essence, the loyalty loop is created. Do you see that? So when you have a free and a try product, something that they can familiarize with you, okay, starting to get them aware about you, okay, you're waiting for that trigger to show up in their life, that they finally enter into a consideration to buy from you. Do you see how powerful that is? Right? So the profit pie plus this was the evolution of everything. Is this powerful? All right, man. Okay. So that's it for today's class. All right. I hope you learned a lot today. Did you? Great. Okay. So good. Okay, as a final recap, the reason why you want the profit pie to be in your business and the reason why you're not enough customers, because you're all stuck inside the top 3. Right now, I'm putting you backwards to open up more market, more customers. Why do you want to do that? Because you want to have lower effort, higher impact, right? Okay, so this is the reason why. Because now you can open up more customers. Now more people trust you. How come? Because they like your dessert, they like your free french fries. Correct or not? Then they upgrade more often. And then they send their friends to you more often. Correct? Okay? So if you have a free and try product. So in summary, today, what I want you to do is you have a core product that you are selling now. All right? Then after which, what is that free and try product that you can come up with? Maybe you don't talk about upgrade first. Don't talk about return first. Talk about that free and try model first. What can you create out of your product? Brainstorm with your team. What can you create with your product that can let them try you out for free? What can you create that they can try? Whether the try model can be a paid model or it can be the free itself. It can be combined. Got it? Good. So after that, then from there, right, it's a break from your existing core product. It's not new, all right? It's a splinter of that core product. But instead of giving them the entire pie, hoping that they will buy everything right now, okay, how can you splinter off a version for them to try and a version for them to try for free to start to familiarize with you and your brand? All right, everyone, I hope this has been amazing class. Is everyone enjoying this class? All right, who would tell their friends more about this class? Who will send me more referrals and more people that you know that need help and need this? All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right, man. Amazing closers, amazing kingmakers, amazing pitches. All right. Okay. So that being said, I'll see you in the next class and bye bye for now. Okay. Go and do your homework and then after that we reconvene soon. All right. Good. Okay. All right. Bye now, guys. Bye. See ya. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's my honor that you are here and learning. All right, man. Amazing. All right, everyone. Ciao.